My name is Stephen Brooks, and I have the distinct honor of being the first pastor for the Trinity Worship Center, Seventh-day Adventist Church. It all started in the year 2006. Went to the conference president at the time, Elder Bernard Mendenhall, and pitched an idea about having a specific church planting model for young families, a church that focused on young families. We wanted to be relevant to the community we're located in. Also a church that was a little more contemporary in its look, style, and approach, but maintain the same biblical principles as you would find in a Seventh-day Adventist church. Another thing that we were looking for is a church that was not so steeped in a lot of traditional ways of doing things, sticking with the principles, but making them real, relevant, and live in the lives of the people. And so we was first looking at doing something like this in the Atlanta area. And as we was looking and researching, we saw that we have a greater opportunity of having success if we was to do it in Charlotte.
Even though a lot of different people were talking about starting a new church in Charlotte, I worked with Pastor Stephen Brooks at the Federation level, and we always talked about how ripe Charlotte was for another church to be started here in a different part of the city that really focused in on the young people, the young adults of Charlotte. And it was one of the things that we really, a few years later, we got an opportunity to do this as he was the youth director of the South Atlantic Conference at the time.
At the time, I was the conference youth and young adults director. And when we first pitched it, it did not really capture the imagination as we was hoping. But when we went back and we got a chance to speak with Elder Mendenhall further about it, and I believe that we had a better proposer at that time, he saw the vision. And he did everything he could to secure conference support. There was about 4 individuals that we started working with in the fall and winter of 2006 and early 2007. Ann Perkins, who was our first treasurer, Stephanie, who was our first clerk, Brother Robert Johnson, who was helping us strategically, as well as Patrick Jones, who was in charge of worship. And we met almost every other week for a number of months as we're putting things in place. And then we planned along with the South Atlantic Conference leadership and Elder Bernard Mendenhall on to get started and to launch in March 2007.
As I look back on my specific roles in this, it was really about finding locations and really making sure that we had great locations, because the first place was Kennedy Middle School, and God led me to that place where we easily got that place for us to worship. After worshiping in homes and hotels and other places, God led us to Kennedy Middle School.
We spent 2 Sabbaths narrowing the name list down to just a few names. And the name that overwhelmingly won was Trinity Worship Center. And I believe it fit, it has stuck, and history would tell us it is the right name.
When my family and I started attending Trinity when it first began, we were looking for something different. We loved the worship experience that we had at other churches, from traditional to more of a Southern Baptist style. But we wanted something that was a little bit more cutting edge, a little bit more contemporary, a little bit more soulful. And so Trinity Worship Center was the spot for us. You know, interesting enough, we tore down and set up every week of the year. We used to, starting out, have to pick up stuff from a trailer and actually bring it over to the school, unload, service, reload on a trailer, back. And man, I thought we were doing something when they started letting us keep stuff at the facility. So it was an interesting experience. It was a wonderful beginning to something really, really new. And I appreciated all the stuff that happened in the past with the other churches. But I was definitely on board with something different, something fresh, something that was couldn't get anywhere else in the Adventist world here in Charlotte.
Fast forward that to years later, we actually ended up in the current building that we're in now just to rent, even though it was foretold that we would really be here after seeing it years early before we actually got to be in this building.
I suppose for me, the experience started somewhere about 12 to 15 months prior to our origination or meeting formally. It was the fact that God had given me a dream in the night. I woke up and I saw what God had shown me. I was attending a new church that I'd never seen before, been a part of, but I saw members consisting of folk that I knew and many new members. Looked again and I saw individuals loading and unloading. It seemed as though there were instruments coming into the place. I also saw in this dream a new praise team. I saw the cafeteria. I knew that we needed a church. A church needed to be on the south side of Charlotte.
One of the most important things I think about Trinity is a place where I built my faith. Back in, I think, the year 2008, if I'm not mistaken, I was in my car with my cousin Brian and Amber and my Aunt Carla. And I remember Jackie and Josette being in the car and also Roosevelt being in the car. And I think there was another car. We were going around Charlotte and we were looking for a place where we could worship. And during that time, we came upon this property. And this church was actually being built for somebody else. And I said, Joshua, the story of Joshua, where Joshua had the children of Israel walk around 7 times, and they actually did 6 times in silence. And on the 7th time, they just went crazy and started praising God. And guess what? I said, y'all, let's do this. Let's get in the car and let's do this. We got in the car, we rolled our windows down, we drove around this property 6 times. And so on the 7th time, y'all, we ended up screaming, hollering to the top of our lungs and praising God. We were so excited about being in this place. And we literally just did it by faith, not knowing that 10, 12 years later, we would actually be in this place. And now we can literally say that this is the place of our house of worship. Tell me that's not some crazy faith.
So prior to us starting the church, I had been involved in the planning commission. I was actually chair of the planning commission here. And because of that, I knew a lot about the area and its growth and where it was going. So I used that information when we were thinking about where we should land as a church. The most interesting part of our current location is that prior to us actually deciding where we were going to be located in the area, Patrick Jones, Michael Jones, and I were part of working with Pastor Brooks to find a location. We had already started at Kennedy Middle School, but we were trying to find kind of a more of a church setting. So we actually went to several churches, and the one that comes to mind that would matter to this story is Steel Creek Baptist Church. But when we went and met with the church body, it was an older church body, we were just wanting to rent their fellowship hall to worship in on Saturdays. What they told us at the time was that they were getting ready to sell their property in their church to a group that was getting ready to build all of Bearwick, and the developer was going to build them a new building. The new building that they built for Steel Creek Baptist Church is the building that we're in. So the history on this one is that we really have been talking to the folks that predated this building, since our beginning. They rented it to us for I think they gave it to us for a couple of weeks, and that turned into a long-term rental that turned into us buying the church. So my point is that almost from the beginning, this building and the people that built this building have been part of our history the entire time.
Having the opportunity to serve as my church's renovation lead has had quite a bit of stressors, but it has definitely also had an enormous amount of excitement as well. Nothing is more exciting than knowing that you came from almost being a worshiping nomad, moving around, going from place to place, trying to find a home, to finding a place to worship in a school, We've gone from all that to now being owners and renovating our own church home.
This felt like something that it drew me. This is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a part of. When first coming to Charlotte, there were a couple of churches here, but nothing felt like home. You know, it just felt like I'm going someplace.
And we searched through a lot of churches.
Yeah. And Trinity, when it started, even from the beginning, before it was even a church, it felt like home. Being in this building, it's a brand new building. Well, for us, it's new, you know, and it really feels like a homecoming, because I feel like, okay, I'm coming home. My house is set and I'm ready. You know, it's more than just coming to church, having great food. It's more than just a great sermon. It's more than just great people, but it's all of that stuff together in one place. And the Spirit of God moves in this place. And I think that everybody needs that. Everyone needs a place. And for me, this is that place.
One of the things that drew me to Trinity was family, like she said. We started it in Richard Jones's house. It was me, my sister, Pat and Carla Jones, Cassie Phipps, and there were a couple of other people. But we started it there, and it felt like it was home. We came there every Sabbath. Soon we ended up in the school. And now we're in our own facility. It took a couple of years to get here, but thank God we got here. And, you know, when they say there's no place like this place, it's true. We started off in the hospitality committee, and we've been there ever since. I think 2005. 2005. We've been part of the hospitality committee.
It truly is a pleasure to serve, and we're just here to be of service.
Trinity, I've watched it grow from a baby to a full-grown young adult. In our age now, we have grown in numbers. We've gone through several pastors, and we had a great start. We've done things like our hospitality committee, where we purposefully sat down with each other and got to know each other and built a place that's warm and loving. I've also been a part of the praise team for several years, and I also have founded several little startups. Generation Trinity was meant to be a youthful organization that was concentrating on sharing the love of God, the Word of God, with our young people, and it was a insightful afternoon with children and young adults who were able to sit and share with each other. Now that we've gone into our own space, we've grown up a little bit, we are working towards bringing some of those things back. Now that we have great yard outside, a big space to kind of share with the current community, we look forward to serving that community.
When we came to Trinity on that day, our first meeting, I just said, deja vu, Lord, this is the place that you've shown me in a dream. It surely was the building that I saw in the dream, and the people were carrying on the activities that I saw in the dream. So I knew then for certain, this is where we need to be.
Trinity is family. Trinity is love. Over 17 years ago, when Trinity didn't have a name, it has always remained the same, just that, family and love.
Trinity is special. I say that because about the connections that you make and the people that you encounter, they're very special people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel at home, and home-cooked meals. You know what I'm saying? You can't forget about it, but it's special.
Trinity, to me, is an organization that truly just tries its hardest to incorporate people and just share the love of God and the Word of God to everybody.
Trinity Worship Center, just being one of the, founding members, being able to meet at my home and other people's home, and just a group of people that had the same mindset and just wanted to create a different way of worship than what we were accustomed to. So Trinity Worship Center is always going to be love and home for us.
Trinity Worship Center is revolutionary. I've been attending Trinity for some months now, and I've been so excited to see the transformation and the revamp that it's undergone, especially on the AV music side. And I'm really looking forward to the way that Trinity can progress further as we do our best to impact the community.
Trinity is home. I say that because ever since the day I was born, I've been going here and it's just like it's become a part of my life, and I love it.
Let us go into the house of the Lord. Trinity is love. Trinity is family.
Trinity is freedom. Free to worship, free to praise, free to lift our holy hands and magnify God's name. That's what I love about Trinity, is we can express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. I came to this church when my son was just 6 weeks old. And when I tell you, I've seen the people come and people go, people worship, people be delivered, people praising God. And that's what I love about Trinity. We love you.
I am so happy and so excited by the continued vision, the growth, the expansion of the kingdom through the ministry of Trinity Worship Center. Man, there's no place like this place, so this must be the place. May God continue to bless Trinity Worship Center, the leadership and members, and this community through your ministry.